This is PNRSHow Season 2, Episode 3, No Narwhal for Rob, recorded December 4th, 2014.
I'd rather have lager than rye. I'll take a strong stout over stride. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale and live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail. So bring me lager for life. I'd rather have lager.
Hello, interwebs. This is the PNRSHow. We are one short tonight. Coming back from Thanksgiving, Rob never made it back. So we are 3 out of 4 of us, and we're going to give you 75% of a show. Gosh darn it! With me, as always, is Jeremy Brooks out in California. Who's the other guy?
Me.
Gary. Gary Hagenbart, also in California. Me in sunny, warm Rochester, New York. And Rob is off in Hawaii this week, so he's not joining us, or at least he hasn't yet. We never know if he'll pop in. How are you guys?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. You guys aren't catching an echo, are you?
Yep, we are.
Oh, awesome.
But we're doing good.
Excellent. I'm going to fix that on the fly. Let's see.
It's wet and it's cold. It's the perfect weather for a big beer.
It is definitely wet and definitely cold.
There. That should fix the echo. Probably not.
That did.
It did?
No.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I will say that we do miss Rob for the intros, that's for sure.
Turn that on the soundboard for now. That should kill the echo.
That'll work. Oh, that's good.
Oh, are you dissing my intro? That was pretty good for off the cuff.
It was pretty good for off the cuff. It was good.
I had whole seconds to prepare because I spent the first half hour of the show fixing the computer.
And now you'll spend the second half hour fixing the soundboard.
Yeah, because the echo is still there, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. While you're fixing the soundboard, we'll talk about the beer, though. Because it is a big winter beer. Rob, if you've listened to the show, you know that Rob isn't a fan of the stouts necessarily. He has, I think, had a couple that he did like, but not one of the things he goes for. So, since he was out, we decided to do Narwhal from Sierra Nevada, which is their seasonal imperial stout that comes out about this time every year. So it's very strong, 10.2%, 10.2%.
10.2.
Yeah.
10.2.
It comes in a 4-pack. It's a little pricier than your normal beer, but I think that if you try it, you'll be impressed. So, so what they say about this: incredible depth of malt flavor, rich notes of espresso, baker's cocoa, grain, and light hints of smoke. So a massive malt-forward monster is what they're saying, and it is definitely a large beer. So we should drink it.
I love me some stouts, but I would be sad if this unseated my favorite stout. I will say.
I think there's a chance of that.
Uh-oh.
It pours thick and dark.
Not a huge head on it.
Mine did.
Very, very, very dark.
I got like a nice
big cocoa nose.
Yeah. God, you can almost smell the booze.
Yeah, you get up near that 10 and above, and it tends to pop, especially on stouts for some reason.
So even being in 12-ounce bottles at 10%, it should make for interesting discussions once we've had the beer.
Did I say 75% of a show? I meant 125%. It smells good, though.
Oh, it does smell good. All right, should we drink this one?
I think so. I think it's time. And with it being only 27 degrees, I am ready for a big beer.
Prost.
Cheers.
Here's one for you, Rob.
Oh, that is just a small piece of heaven.
That's really well balanced. I expected it not to be from the nose, but that's really well balanced.
Mm. And
it's sweeter than I remember it.
Yeah, they might change the recipe a little bit every year, or
Yeah.
just kind of variations in brewing on this kind of seasonal thing. But
That's so good.
Well, I'll go first since I could talk about this beer for a long time, but I won't. I'll let you guys talk at some point. This thing pours smooth. It's like velvet. The mouthfeel on this is just incredible. It's just like, I mean, for being a big, dark, heavy-looking beer, it has a really light mouthfeel to me, and it's got a lot of complexity and flavor. You definitely get the espresso and the cocoa coming through, but it does have that nice balance with those kind of toasty malt flavors that it has. This might be my favorite stout, and every time this comes out at this time of year, I make a point of getting at least one 4-pack. But being at 10.2%, it does take a little while to get through that. So I'm going to give this an easy 5. It, like I said, one of my favorite stouts. So it is Narwhal, and I've got I don't know. I think this might be the third or fourth year.
So you
Easily
give it a 5 out of 10?
Oh, I thought we were a 5-point scale. See, the 10.2 here. No, I'll give it a 10. A 10.
That's my mistake. Come on now.
I
Yeah,
forgot. Rob's not here to keep us in order. I forget. So yeah, it's an easy 10.
I was like, it's easy and beer.
And it will be sad. So, and mine's been sitting out for a little while. I pulled it out of the fridge when we were going to do the show, and it's at about the right temperature you want a stout. It's not too cold, which stouts don't do well. They're too cold, and this is just awesome.
Yeah, this is a delicious
I have
beer.
friends who insist on drinking stouts, even stuff like Guinness, at ice cold temperatures.
No,
And then they complain that it doesn't taste good, and it's like, well, stop doing that.
it's got to be at that
You really got to let it warm up to just under room temperature.
Yeah.
It continues to open up stouts in general. I'm sorry, I'm off on a rant.
No, I think it was your turn to rant.
Oh, my turn to rant. This is a damn good stout. Having the nose of the booze and the cocoa powder, I really kind of expected it to be one of those imperial chocolate stouts that just go too heavy with the cocoa flavor and really make like a chocolate stout, and this is not. I wouldn't call this a chocolate stout. It's rich, it's a little sweet, but not overly sweet. In fact, it doesn't even come close. My favorite stout that I mentioned before is the Anderson Valley Oatmeal, and that's sweeter than this. So this is pretty good. This is pretty dry still, which is what I like in a stout. Even though it's got big malt flavor, and the booziness doesn't come through as much as I thought. As much as I smelled it, I don't taste it, and that's good too. If you can hide 10% in a glass like this, it makes it really easy to drink. In fact, probably too easy. I will give this a 9 out of 10. I don't think it's going to replace Anderson Valley, but it's really, really good. It's right up there. Or as Gary would say, I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, this is a great stout. It's dark, rich, sweet. I think the description Gary used, that velvet, is perfect because it is so smooth. It has a nice bitter finish, and I can taste the alcohol like I would expect to in a big beer, but it's not overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. You take this same beer from Oscar Blues, and theirs is super alcoholic. It's almost like doing shots.
Yeah.
Which it's also a great stout, but they hide it better in this one.
Yeah, that's what disappoints me sometimes with the higher alcohol beers. They have these nice, rich, complex flavors, but then they get them so boozy that the booziness takes away from all of that complexity, and this doesn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
This keeps that richness without going over the top on the boozy flavor.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I think it's been sitting out for about half an hour now, and I think this is pretty much the perfect temperature.
Yeah.
The flavors are all there.
of a 27-degree garage, and about a half hour before the show, and it's doing real well.
Yeah. So I'm giving this a 10, by the way.
2-1 in this stout.
Yeah. So I'll go with a 10 on this. This is perfect. Just what you want out of an imperial stout, I think.
And Keith, did you see Rob try and ask him for a link?
I just sent him an invite.
So that rounds us to a 9.67, which, without our Texas judge, I think
you can count on Rob giving this probably a 5. He's not
about how much he tastes the coffee. I'm not getting a lot of coffee out of it, but
no.
He's not gonna love it, but he would rate it high for him because I think his palate's kind of more understanding these days. But
yeah,
he wouldn't give it a 2. I don't think.
So that's easy. 9.67 is the highest rated beer we've ever done. If Rob gave it a 5,
we'd have to give it an asterisk.
Yeah, we'd have to give it an asterisk. So we'll just leave it at 9.67 and say it's the best beer we've ever had.
Yeah, well,
I'm good with that. I'm very good with that.
It really is a great beer.
Yeah, it is. I love this time of year because you get all these nice stouts coming out, and they're just so good. When it starts getting, those longer, longer darkness and the shorter days, longer nights, that's when I start to like stouts. I look for them, and this one, man.
I think this is the one time of year the seasonals really start to work for me because everything comes out early. So the Christmas beers are almost past, and I'm not a huge fan of those in general. But the winter beers, the winter warmers, and the big stouts and stuff like that, I love.
Yeah.
And I could just sip on that stuff all year round.
Oh, we have a guest.
There's visions of someone in palm trees showing up mid-podcast. Rob, are you there? Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hi, Rob.
Live!
Entirely too sunny and warm.
Hello.
Are you on a golf course?
Live.
You're breaking up something fierce, your audio there, buddy.
I said live from Hawaii.
Yes. Where are you?
I would be on the Big Island at Ka'ali'i Kai. There we go. That's better.
Yeah.
I can't see any of you guys, but I see myself.
That's really all you need to see.
Yeah.
How's the podcast going?
Well, it's going well so far. We spent the first half hour troubleshooting hardware errors. And so we just started.
Oh, great!
Yeah. You've just missed the beer, and we're moving on.
It's like a typical show. Well, I don't want to interrupt all the awesome stuff that you guys are doing, but I just wanted to say aloha from the Big Island, and I don't know if you can see the lovely vista behind me, the ocean.
Yeah.
Are
those lava rocks piled up there?
Yeah, those are lava rocks. Here, taking a little tour of behind us. We were in Oahu for 4 days, and then we've been here on the Big Island for about 3 days. About to go down to the spa down there and have a Mai Tai and or a beer. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Mai Tais are acceptable.
I have
love me a
fallen
good
in love
top
with
shelf Mai Tai.
I have fallen in love with the Blue Wave Golden Ale here.
Ah, I haven't had that one.
Haven't seen that.
Delicious. I have had a lot of Longborns, but I've had that before as well. Yeah. So, anyway, carry on with the show. Sorry I missed you guys, and all the fans out there. I know you missed me too. So.
Not the same without you.
It is definitely not the same.
They made me do the opening, Rob. It was frightening.
Oh gosh! Don't forget who pays the bills. All right. Have a great show, guys.
Hey, enjoy your vacation.
See ya.
Thanks, Rob. See you soon.
We now know who the talent is on the show.
Yeah, clearly. And for you audio listeners, if you want to see the beautiful choppy vistas that Rob just showed us, swing by our YouTube page and subscribe while you're there. YouTube.com PNRSHow/PNRShow, I think should get you there.
All right. Should we move on past the beer into our topics?
Sure.
Yeah, except I got to open my second beer because I'm still thirsty, so this is going to get real fun.
Cool.
You are a champ.
A second narwhal?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh, yeah,
god.
baby. Oh, yeah.
See,
It's cold in New York.
when I buy my narwhal every year, I put 3 in the fridge and put 1 in the storage. So I have a few from a few years back that are aging. So I'm going to do a series of 5 years in a row of these at some point.
Wow.
Neat. That would be fun.
This is the last one out of the 4-pack I got. So let's talk about something interesting and fun and exciting. If I can find my show notes. Let's talk about Star Wars.
Yeah,
Love to talk about Star Wars.
The new trailer, it seems to be a recurring theme here, whether we want it to be or not, but the new trailer came out this week, and it was pretty much an across-the-board nerdgasm.
Yeah.
Everyone was very excited by what they saw, which was very little, which was nice. It was nice that it wasn't spoilery at all.
No, it wasn't. It gave you everything that you needed to really, really want to go out and buy your tickets now.
Yeah.
You have Stormtroopers, you have TIE Fighters, and you have the Millennium Falcon with TIE Fighters.
Yeah, doing a barrel roll over the desert.
Yeah.
And
so
awesome new lightsaber.
And yeah.
Yeah, that lightsaber's probably single-handedly caused the most controversy and geek talk since we since ever since the last Star Wars movie.
That's the only thing I remember about the trailer.
Yeah, everybody either loves it or hates it. I wasn't a fan at first with the little lightsabery cross pieces, almost like a lightsaber hilt. I kind of see that as unnecessary on a lightsaber, but I was listening to another podcast with a bunch of guys that talk movie and geek stuff like this a lot. Majorspoilers.com website. The guy who runs that came on another show, and they were talking about it. But his theory on it all was that, is okay, this is what we know. It's called The Force Awakens. We know that Luke Skywalker is the last Jedi, and he's been the last Jedi for a long time. So the thought is the guy we see stumbling through the woods there, or the jungle there, with the funky lightsaber is not Luke. It is somebody new who, because of generations being lost and no one to teach him, he has kind of put together his own lightsaber, and maybe those little crossed pieces there are some kind of stabilizers to try to stabilize the beam, offshoot the extra energy, yada, yada, yada. So that theory kind of hung with me that, yeah, that makes more sense now. If you think of someone trying to kind of recreate on their own a lightsaber from memory, from history.
Yeah, that's plausible, but that I don't think that's what it is.
You don't think that's what it's going to be?
No, I think it was just the fact that
it's not a clean lightsaber beam either. I mean, it's all jagged and gnarly.
Yeah, but I think I think there could be some truth. I don't know, not truth, but I think some of that could play out. I mean, some of those aspects, like somebody who kind of just came to the Force on their own, wasn't guided by a Sith Lord as a mentor or a Jedi Master or anything like that, just kind of figured it out. Somehow. I think there could be some of that, but I really think the reason they did that lightsaber was because when the prequels came out, you had Darth Maul with his cool double-ended lightsaber, and everybody was like, "Oh, wow, look at that!" And they just needed something like that for the Jedis.
Yeah, they just did it because it looked cool.
That was
definitely. I mean, as a movie choice, sure, absolutely. As a storyline choice, I wasn't buying it until something like that was proposed to me, and I went, okay, I can kind of buy into that.
I don't know. I mean, lightsabers. I mean, if you once Darth Maul had the double-ended lightsaber, as far as I'm concerned, the door was wide open for a lightsaber to do anything. It wasn't
I
just
mean,
a
the
straight.
thing is, with the double-ended lightsaber, it was just two lightsabers that were like stuck together in the middle. Because at one point they were cut, and he was using them as two lightsabers.
Yeah,
So it's
but
really not that big a mod.
no, but the point being that it is a mod, and that lightsabers are not just necessarily one beam. That, to me, that's what opened the door. It wasn't that J.J. Abrams opened the door. Darth Maul's, opened the door to that whole idea. And if you've seen the Phineas and Ferb Star Wars episode,
I haven't, but I love them. So we'll go look it up now.
That is worth watching. It's A New Hope. It's the story of A New Hope, so it's not the whole prequel sequel thing. But it's they do some things with lightsabers in that. It's pretty funny. They do a really good job of for people that appreciate Star Wars, you like Star Wars, but they also make fun of Star Wars at the same time. So it's pretty funny. It's worth watching. But going back to the trailer, the thing that I noticed that stuck out to me was that the scenes of the Millennium Falcon looked to me very much like J.J. Abrams scenes. Like the way the camera angles and the shots and the flying was like it was like pulled right out of Star Trek and dropped into Star Wars in terms of cinematography and things like that.
Yeah.
Even though those scenes were brief, it was like, okay, I've seen this sort of before.
Yeah, and it's familiar and comfortable too. It's not. It's not like it's.
Oh no,
shocking
it was
in any way.
it was very cool. I mean, it was like, okay, we're seeing the Millennium Falcon really fly, not just kind of pop to hyperspace and pop out of hyperspace. So that's cool. I was glad. Jeremy, to answer your question, no.
Bummer.
I know.
Well, Keith will be on that. So what do you think the chances are?
Do you want me to interrupt the conversation to do it?
Nope.
No.
Sometime during episode 7, are the extra lightsaber beams going to save him?
They will be used.
It will be a feature, not just a gimmick.
Yeah. Well, if they do stop, I mean, in theory, one lightsaber stops another lightsaber. So having a hilt, so to speak, would stop a lightsaber from sliding down a lightsaber, which is the original reason of a hilt on a sword. So I guess they do serve some kind of purpose there. But boy, if you picked it up wrong, you're also going to give yourself a new cuff link.
One guy at work pointed out if you swing too tight of a motion, you're just going to cut your own hand off.
Exactly. Yeah, it would seem awfully dangerous.
I can see it being used in where the two combatants get like right up close to each other and they're compressed in, and then you have these things sticking out the side that could potentially just you just kind of move your wrist a little bit and the beam could hit the guy and you win.
Right.
So I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see how they're used.
Yeah.
So 93 seconds or so of Star Wars has generated, I don't know, 450,000 hours of conversation on the internet.
Oh man, it's insane. I mean, people have picked it apart. I didn't even catch this, but apparently the Millennium Falcon somewhere along the way got an upgraded satellite dish, which is good. It's been a while. It should have some upgrades.
It's not the 70s,
Yeah, come on.
It should be a smaller satellite dish now, right?
I think it is. I'd have to go back and check, but I saw that on Twitter the other day. I was like, oh my god.
You people are reading way too much into this.
Yeah.
So, I think we should move on.
I totally watched it for the first time on my iPad and just went, okay, when's the movie coming out? Because I'm ready.
Yeah, sign me up.
And I don't go see movies, but I would go opening weekend for that one for sure.
Wow.
So, speaking of movies, Jeremy brought up a nice subject of movies and their cost and how to distribute them with this new movie coming out called Algorithm.
So Algorithm is an independent movie about hackers, and it's hard to tell from the trailer, but it seems like it's kind of about how hacking has moved from a thing that college students did and embraced and was a good thing to basically it's now terrorism. So the movie itself appeals to me. The way they're distributing this appeals to me also. They've decided that a new distribution model for movies is needed because the current one is corrupt and useless and garbage. They are going to release the movie everywhere at the same time, make it free, and make it viewable on any device you want to watch it on, TV, computer, mobile, tablet, whatever. They're hoping to make money, from what I can tell, from advertising as people watch it. For example, on YouTube, if you watch the advertisement before it, they'll make a little bit of money, and if enough people watch it, they'll make enough money to make it worthwhile. It'll be interesting to see how this turns out.
Go ahead, Keith.
I was to say I would think they could probably get advertising for product placements too, but probably not until they've shown a successful model first. So,
right, and
maybe not.
And this kind of sounds like the movie's done, or I mean, or at least basically, probably finished with initial production, maybe in post production. Oh, actually, it's going to be released on December 7th, so it's done. There's an article that I'm sure we'll link to in the show notes that talks a lot about this, but I did like their points about what the new model has to be and how the industry is not necessarily keeping up with the reality of today's connected world. And I think there's a lot of validity to that. I think distributing movies and making money at it and pleasing your audience are not things that can be done the way that they were done in the 20th century, and that the theaters, not the theaters, but the production companies need to really come up with new ways to appeal to people. And it's something that I've noticed just in TV viewing habits for us. It's like you watch a show on Netflix, and maybe it's a show that's on now, and you kind of catch up on 2 or 3 seasons to get to the current season. And what I've noticed now is that there are shows that I watched a couple of seasons of and then caught up to whatever's on TV and then forgot about them because I couldn't watch them.
Yeah.
And theaters and movies in general are going to need to stay relevant, and people need motivation to actually get to a movie theater and watch a movie. So it's just interesting to me that a company would try to do something a little bit different and take the current model and basically throw it out the window and try something completely new, which I think is something that needs to be done a lot more in this industry.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. In fact, I just did that with Blacklist. I watched the entire first season that was on Netflix, and the second season is ongoing now, but I'm not even recording it. I've almost completely forgotten about it, and I'll just be a pleasant surprise when it shows up on Netflix over the summer. Be like, oh, Blacklist, that'll be great. Let's watch that. But yeah, I mean, it's viewing habits are changing. I think us 3, 4 with Rob is we were certainly not the norm 5 years ago, but boy, we're getting a lot closer now.
Yeah.
With the way we're watching stuff, and Jeremy especially skips over anything pop culture related and only watches something if it's 10 years old. So
yeah, I've almost
this will be relevant
up,
conversation to him in a few years.
I've almost caught up to House of Cards.
Have you really?
Wow. I have. Imagine that.
See, that's I like Netflix model of releasing everything all at once, but this like multiple months of gap between episodes to me or between seasons is hard to deal with. It's almost like the daytime soap operas have the right model in that they do something every day.
Well, we still watch things. We don't binge watch things the way normal people binge watch things. The closest thing that we've ever done to binge watching was Blacklist. When we found that, we really liked it, and we would watch like an episode a night until it was gone.
Yeah.
So like maybe 5 episodes a week. That was as close as binge watching we ever got. With House of Cards, we just finished season 2 because we were watching one every week or so. So we still kind of watch stuff on the same pace that we're used to because we're comfortable with that. But
when's the next season of House of
normal
Cards coming? I mean, sometime next year.
February, I think, right?
Okay,
March.
maybe
I
Netflix will do
I
it.
don't know when it comes.
Yeah, I think they come out over the winter usually, so they shouldn't be too far away.
So on December 7th, when this algorithm movie is released, I'm gonna watch it. I don't know. I mean, I
Absolutely.
probably won't watch it on December 7th, but I don't know if it's pouring down rain and I have nothing else to do. I might. But I'm gonna watch it online, whatever avenues they have, because I like
That's
the idea of being able to get movies and content in different ways than the traditional model that's been around for the last 100 years. So
Yeah.
I would do what I can to support this. If for no other reason than just to let independent creators know that they actually have a viable way of getting their product out into the world and letting people enjoy it and not going broke.
Yeah, I think that's this Sunday, and if I weren't already committed to like 3 different things this weekend, I probably would watch it on Sunday. But being the holiday season, this is a nightmare. These next few weekends are just nightmares. But,
Holidays, I know, it's crazy.
yeah.
It's gonna go by quick.
Well, it's holidays plus my wife's birthday, plus my mother's birthday. So yeah, it just gets all wrapped up real quick and all kinds of stuff, and the bank account gets emptied real fast too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. You know, I was listening to a couple podcasts on Relay.fm, which is kind of like my new favorite podcast provider. And one of the guys is in England. They don't have Thanksgiving, and they were talking about Canada as well that doesn't have Thanksgiving when we do. And Thanksgiving is like actually a nice buffer to keep you away from the Christmas stuff until after Thanksgiving. And
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would be like if we didn't actually have that. So.
Well, it is, but it's an artificial buffer these days because Christmas stuff comes out after Halloween
In October.
Yeah. I think it would be worse if not for Thanksgiving, though.
I think it would be too. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So are we going to move on to another topic, or are we going to go straight to picks?
I think we should go right to picks.
Hang on, I gotta pour another beer.
See, are you pouring Narwhal?
Yeah.
Good man. Come on, Gary.
I had a 4-pack, and this was the last one.
Yes, but now we know that you have secret aged ones hanging around nearby.
I can't drink those. I can't drink. You know what I can do? I can talk about my annual holiday beer tasting party if you guys want to hear.
Oh, that's true. When is that? That's got to be coming up soon.
That is coming up on Saturday the 13th. So me and the guy who put that on, Ray, just went out and bought a bunch of beer this week for that. And if I can find the list, I can read you off the.
You should probably not bother to read it off here, but you should post it maybe on the PNRSHow website.
Yeah, we've got about 18 or 19 beers right now that we're going to do tastings.
I swear though, if you set up a webcam in like the corner of your house, like facing the party, that could be an entire podcast for us.
Or more. So.
Or more.
And a
Every
couple
time
of
we miss a week, we
homebrews.
could release another hour of Gary's beer tasting party.
It should be fun. I'm not looking forward to the next day, but that night should be a lot of fun.
You always find some great beers for that.
Yeah, you
the
do.
list is amazing every year.
You know, Keith said he's not into the holiday beers as so much, the Christmas beers, and what I found over the last few years is that most people aren't really into the true Christmassy beers, but the ones that they do, like weird spices and things like that. But more of the good solid like winter beers have favored well among at least the crowd that I have at my house. So we'll see this year. We've kind of cut back, and there's some beers that we've had over the last couple of years that we just said, no, we're not gonna have that one this year. Like the Anchor Brewing's annual Christmas beer.
Yeah, you can definitely do without that.
So there's a few that we're skipping, and we'll see how it goes. And we have
got a recommendation for you for that.
Oh, if you have something, let me know. I think last year you sent some out that we used. Like, I can't
Yeah,
remember which
yeah.
ones they were, but they were good.
This was my favorite, and I can't always find it. I'm going to put the link in the chat room for you so you can take a look at it. But it's by Orkney Brewery up in, I think, Scotland. Yeah, Scotland.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's a huge wee heavy called Skull Splitter.
Oh,
And
okay.
it is one of my favorites by far. Where did I lost you guys? There you are.
No, we're here.
Put the link.
Like, this year we added Narwhal, even though it's not a holiday beer. It's a winter
beer,
It's
absolutely.
a winter beer, so we're kind of expanding. The one that I'm actually most looking forward to is from Smith. It's their annual. It's an Imperial Red Ale, so that might be good.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
Imperial Reds are always good.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite beers of all time is 21st Amendment's little, what do they call it? Red Giant, and it's an Imperial Red, and it is just amazing. It's hoppy,
haven't had
it's
that.
strong. It's
Well, the,
easy to drink.
The
Amazing
Nugget
beer.
Nectar is an Imperial Red that I
Oh.
sent out to you guys in the spring.
Yeah,
That
that's
is good
that
beer.
is good stuff. Yeah. So anyway, should be fun. I'll let you know how it goes. Let's do some picks.
All right. Who's up?
You.
All right. Let's talk about the most awesome, addictive game that's come out.
Yes, I can't agree more with what Jeremy's about to say.
So, Crossy Road is a newish game for iOS. I think it's iOS only. Think of it as Frogger meets.
No, I think it's on Android too.
Is it on Android? Well,
I think it is.
Who has Androids anyway?
Yeah, right.
Think of it as Frogger meets 3D pixel art. It is an endless hopping, jumping, avoid the traffic, jump across the river game. There's so much good going with this game. First of all, it's free. It does not have ads, so that's a huge win.
Yeah.
You can buy additional characters for 99 cents if you're impatient, or you can just keep playing, and as you progress, you collect gold, and you can buy more characters with the gold. It's a great nod to Frogger and classic simple 8-bit video games like that, but updated for current 3D looking pixely technology. It's so much fun.
Upgraded is an interesting term to use for it because it's upgraded to retro.
It's an upgraded retro.
Yeah.
I like the company that put this out is called Hipster Whale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can play as the hipster whale as well.
Yeah, that's one of the characters. The hipster whale holds a cup of coffee and a camera, and like
periodically
a Polaroid camera.
I actually saw this game in the App Store when a couple weeks ago it was released or whatever, and chose not to get it, but I'm gonna download it right now. So,
Yeah, you have to.
It's awesome, and it's one of those games that you can pick up and play for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you can put it back down. So waiting in line or on a bus or when you have to wait, it's a great, simple pick-up, quick play.
It is a perfect time waster because you can lose an hour on it or just 2 minutes while you're checking out at the grocery store.
And be sure to add me on Game Center so I can obsessively chase your score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm still chasing yours. I haven't gotten to the 204 yet.
250.
250? Oh, he's gone up. Last time I saw it was 204. I've only hit like 180.
Highly recommended.
Yeah. It's really fun. And you don't have to
now.
drop a dime on it. There's nothing that you can't just wait to earn. In fact, you get a free present every like 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
So you just log in the next time you're playing, and you get a free present, and it's usually enough to get another free character. So if you can't spend, if you can't spend any money on it, if you put in like 15 minutes twice a day, you're bound to get a new character once a day.
And you will put in 15 minutes twice a day.
And you will. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's really fun.
Everything about this game is beautiful. They've done really an excellent job. It's fun to play. The sounds are awesome. The animations are great. The graphics are cool.
The characters are amazing. My favorite now is still Crazy Old Ben. Have you got Crazy Old Ben yet, Jeremy?
I have.
He just screams at the traffic. He's the best.
I like the way the environment changes for characters too.
Yeah.
So the penguin,
Oh yeah.
the
Yeah.
penguin
Some of the characters
turns
cause
into
it to be
winter.
at night, or the zombie
Yeah.
causes it to be at sunset.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
have the
it's
zombie
crazy.
yet.
So
But
is
you
it
know,
any
the
is it
Mad
any
Wizard
different on?
too.
Oh, sorry. I was
Go
going to
ahead.
ask, is it any different on iPad versus iPhone? I mean, do they actually scale it well, or
Whale.
You know, I've never played it on my iPhone. I downloaded it on my iPad, and I've only played it on my iPad, and it's wonderful on the iPad Mini. It's like perfect.
Okay, I'm the
Um,
opposite. I've only played it on the phone.
Yeah.
okay? So I guess
I
it
would
works
imagine it scales fine because there's no controls or anything to get in the way. You just tap the screen to hop.
Well,
Swipe
like
to turn.
even threes for me on the iPad is like just too big. It's just like a blown up
no.
version of it, and it's like kind of weird.
I don't know how it would be on a full size iPad, but the iPad Mini is I find to be the ideal device for Crossy Road, which possibly is the worst name for a game ever. But once you play it, you love it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
They were kind of borrowing from Flappy Bird, I guess.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. It was borrowing from Flappy Bird and an homage to Frogger, and they said,
Yeah.
"What if we combine Flappy Bird and Frogger and you get Crossy Road?"
It's genius. Download it.
Yeah.
It's free. You got nothing to lose.
It's
It's one
there.
of those things where once you play it, you go, "This is so stupidly simple yet good that you wish you had thought of it."
I was planning a Frogger homage game, and I've dropped that project.
Yeah, I bet. Well, if you wait a few years, you can do a Crossy Road homage.
You know, it's like Battlestar Galactica. This has all been done before.
Yeah.
And it will all be done again.
It'll all be done again.
Okay, I've talked enough.
All right. Well, I think we have to let Keith do his pick last. Isn't that tradition?
Yeah, I think so. Even
Okay.
though mine's on the paper tonight, it's on the paper. on the doc.
You did. The one time Rob isn't here, you actually have a pick.
I did. I filled out the doc.
Wow, that's amazing. So I'm gonna do another game, and it's a game that's been out for a while, called Monument Valley, which is actually not a free game, which is a paid game, and it is the most I have paid for a game ever on the iPhone, or anything on the iPhone actually. I think it was like $5 or something like that to buy the thing.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
It is. Well, $5. I mean, come on, that's like a cup of coffee these days.
Yeah, no, it's not that expensive, and especially when you compare it to like console gaming.
Oh yeah.
But we're so used to 99 cents that $5
Or free.
is freaking
Yeah, it is.
expensive.
We can have a whole other discussion about the economics of games and free, but so after hearing enough people talk about Monument Valley, I finally decided to buy it, and I did buy it, and then I bought the expansion pack, which was an add-on purchase of I think $2, maybe $3, and then they had their Red Edition come out, which was an extra level for $1, which I purchased that too, and it is a great game, and I have never once thought, man, $5 was a lot for that, or even because I played the first part of it, and then immediately as soon as I finished that, bought the expansion pack, and didn't even blink about doing that. So I spent a total of like $8 or $9 on this game, but it is great. It is a wonderful, fun experience, and it's we were talking in the pre-show about you don't have enough time to invest in it. There were times where I would sit down for 10 or 15 minutes and do a level or two. All the levels are doable. Some of them were hard. Like I would do it at night sometimes when I was like getting ready for bed, and if I was tired, I couldn't figure them out. Then I wake up the next day and pull it up and I go, oh, okay, that was and figure it out.
It's a 3D puzzler, right?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
Escher-esque type puzzles,
Right.
but it's just really cool. And I guess that's the only way I can describe it. I mean, it's obviously not a lot of action, but I bought it so it went onto my iPhone and my iPad, and I played it on my phone. My daughter played it on the iPad. She ran through the whole thing. She thought it was great. Then my daughter, my older daughter who's in college, came home at Thanksgiving. She grabs it on the iPad and spent Thanksgiving weekend going through all of the levels as well. So, I mean, I guess from a value perspective, we've had 3 people go through it, and they all were like, once they picked it up, they like had to just go to the next level and play it.
It seems like the perfect thing for that type of thing too, for like Thanksgiving weekend or Christmas holiday when you're waiting in between events or something, just killing some time.
It's not a checkout line kind of thing like Crossy Road is, but for the amount of money I spent, which is less than seeing a movie, I spent more time than I would have spent seeing a movie on it, and 3 other people played it. So I think the value is there for the price of it. And I actually thought that the red level was the most difficult one of them all, which was the last one to come out. So if you have $8 or $9 to spend, I would recommend doing it. You're going to go through it and you're going to finish it, and I mean anybody can do those levels, but it's the kind of thing that at some point down the road in a month or so I will go back to it and I will go through them again. Wow. Because some of them were like I kind of got through them because I just kind of was clicking around and figuring it and just kind of got it by chance sometimes. So it's definitely the kind of thing that I will go and play again. It's not like a kind of like threes where you can just every day you can pick it up and play a little bit. It's fun. I don't know. Fun it probably isn't the right word. It is a compelling, interesting, and intriguing game.
All right, you talked me into it.
Yeah, I'll probably get it. I may wait till Christmas. I tend to have my Christmas schedule is like, we'll do Christmas here at home, and then we go to the in-laws, and then we go to my parents, and so there's always this dead time in between where we're waiting for other people to arrive or whatever. So that sounds like the perfect game for that type of thing.
If you get an iTunes gift card at Christmas, it's the perfect place to spend the money.
There you go. Nobody ever gets me those for Christmas, which is annoying because I'm the most Apple geeky guy in my whole family, and nobody ever buys me iTunes gift cards. I would love that. Anyway, nobody in my family also listens to this podcast, so they still won't know. But
they'll never know.
They'll never know. Anyway, okay, I've got just to keep the game theme rolling along, I'm going to give a quick shout out and do a double pick here. A quick shout out to Hearthstone, which I picked a month or so ago, or 2 at this point, and Hearthstone on Monday, December 8th, is releasing their first major expansion. 120 new cards. It's called Goblins versus Gnomes, and it's introducing a whole bunch of new random stuff into the game. Just a quick synopsis, Hearthstone is a virtual card game that you can collect cards and build decks and play against other people. And the nice thing about a virtual card game is there's all kinds of effects that you can do very easily that you can't do in real-life card games, such as randomization. So this whole first expansion is going to really take advantage of that. And I'm looking very much forward to it, and I'm very and I'm very upset that my first day back at work after being unemployed for a month and a half is going to be the first day that they release this, so I won't be able to really, really dig into it right away. But I think y'all should, if you followed my first recommendation, are playing Hearthstone like mad, like I am, and now playing it with my daughter. You should definitely check out Goblins vs. Gnomes coming out on Monday. Anyway, my real pick, the one that I put on the dock, is Plague, the Social Network. This is the first social network that I've ever seen that actually truly does something completely different with social networking. This is a social network that's not based on people you know or people you want to know. It doesn't get you in touch with other people really at all. Which, in my mind, makes it the perfect social network.
Okay.
What Plague does is you upload a post. It could be a bunch of text that you want to, thoughts from your head that you want to type out. It could be a photograph. It could be one of those silly animated GIF memes that's out there, or just a picture with text on it, or whatever it is that you want to upload. And what it does immediately upon upload is it finds the 4 physically closest people to you that are on the network, as far as GPS location, and it sends it to them. And when they open their app, they go through all the posts that they have, and they either like it or they don't like it. They flip it up if they like it. They flip it down if they don't like it. It's very easy, simple, like upvote, downvote type thing. If they upvote it, it goes to the 4 closest people to them. And onward and onward. And so the goal is, it's kind of a little bit of a game. The goal is to see how far you can get your post to go in 7 days, because there's a time limit on your post. It ends after 7 days.
So
Now,
when it ends, what happens to it?
I don't know. I haven't gotten to 7 days yet. I'll let you know. I've got a post that's about to hit 7 days. It's only got 2 days left.
Is this in the App Store?
It is. It is, and the link is in the show notes there. So hopefully, Jeremy will post it.
I just installed it
Someday, when you feel sober again.
See, Jeremy's kind of in the perfect place for this because he takes like public transit and things like that around to get to and from work and.
Yeah, it's based on your
stuff.
proximity at the time when you post it, and at the time when you receive it. So this is the interface for your home screen. It's showing my 4 last posts, and it shows how many people I've infected, i.e. the plague. Infected. They've passed it on, and I had this picture of a pink flamingo in the snow that I posted on there. And if you look, it shows. I don't know if you can see this. It shows a map.
Yeah.
With red hot spots, and the red hot spots are places your post has gone. So you can see by my little pink flamingo in the snow post has made it all the way to Spain and Europe and down into Venezuela, and across the country, not quite to California, but it's hit like Arizona, New Mexico area, and is still running with 4 days left. So that's a pretty good one. I have another picture of a little tiny snowman that I posted that my daughter made the snowman. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on this. And it got stopped, pretty much. It made it as far as Toronto, and nobody passed it on, and it's stuck. It's dead. And it's down there. And there's all kinds of graphs. It shows you the graphs on how many people and stuff. I'm trying to show this to the camera, which is not always good, but it shows you graphs on engagement and stuff like that too. So it's really kind of interesting as a stats nerd that I am, but also it's kind of like the evolution of viral. You get to see how your stuff spreads from one place to the other, and you don't really know who these people are. They can comment on your post, and you can comment back, so you can start conversations that way. But in general, there's no friending, there's no unfriending. It's all about your physical location and how close you are to whatever you posted.
That's kind of interesting. I just downvoted about 20 posts.
Yeah.
Too many cats. But
the interesting thing is I started this about 5. Well, let's see. What do we got? 2 days left. So about 5. Yeah, about 5 days ago was when I started this. And man, when 5 days ago when I started doing this in Western New York, there was nobody near me, and I would look once a day, and I would have maybe 5 posts, and I would up or down them, and then it would close the app, and it would be done. That would be it for the day. In that week, the app has gotten way more popular because now I could spend an hour going through upping and downing posts to see if they make it through and still not be done. So the app seems to be spreading like the plague that it's named for, but it's just kind of an interesting experiment. I would say if you're interested in it all, get in it now early, because I have a feeling if it keeps spreading at this rate, in another month you're not going to be able to see your posts get anywhere because there's going to be so many people in it and posting stuff.
Yeah, it'll be just too much.
It might become too much, and then it'll be interesting to see if they have a way of filtering that.
So, do they have any way of like ranking? Like you sign in with whoever you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, because most people are in this to figure out that they are like the most popular person in the world, right?
Right.
So, is there a mechanism for that so you can gauge in general, like how you compare to other people, like in your area or whatever? Or
there's no way to compare at this point, and this is essentially a beta app, so this stuff may come. But right now, it tells you on your individual posts how many people you've infected.
Do they see like your screen name or something?
Yeah, they'll see the screen name under a post. Let me see. Let me bring up a post here. See if I can show it to you.
So that way, like I can, because I mean I do this. There are people that I follow on social networks that I'm more inclined to like their post or whatever, because I know them or I've whatever, have a relationship, whatever. So I'm more inclined to like them than people that I have less social contact with. So I'm wondering if there's a way for you to know that, oh, well, Keith is always liking my stuff or always...
Yeah, only if you recognize my name. And you don't see who likes it in general unless they comment.
Okay.
If they comment, you see their name. But if they're just upvoting, downvoting, then you don't see their name. However, with the post, you get there's a little tagline there that tells you who posted it.
See, the more anonymity that it is, and it was just like, you post a picture of something really cool, and if it got really, infected across the country or the world just because it was cool, to me is of a more interesting app than something where people start to recognize names and things like that and say, oh, well, Keith posted it, so I'm going to forward it just because it was Keith.
Right.
So I would rather it be just because it was cool and not because of who posted it. They
do put the name under there, but you don't get any information on it unless you click on that name, and then it'll tell you that person's infection index, which is a general score you have that lets you know. Like my infection index is 147. I don't know what that means other than it says underneath it, each of your posts on average spreads to at least 8 people. So if I posted nothing, a blank screen, it would get to roughly at least 8 people before it got stopped. And you want to, obviously, the more you do with higher scores, the better that'll go. But it's just kind of a gauge, I think. But it's interesting, and it's free, obviously. It takes the social out of social networking. It's more about trying to create something viral.
Although it does have some socialness to it because you can add your Twitter and Instagram handles. I'm not sure.
Which will let people get a hold of you on those networks, I guess, if they like your stuff. But there's no way to directly interact with people.
I don't know. It sounds kind of cool.
It is very cool. I thought it was at first, but just to try it on a whim, it was because it was free. It has me addicted, and it's now what I do 2-3 times a day. I will sit down and look at all my plagues, or try to look at.
Also, the icon looks like the Radiohead application.
Yeah, the icon's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, I was thinking more
Polyfauna.
Like a bug splat on a windshield, but
the other thing that is fun about the plague app is if you tell it to give you notifications, it'll tell you how many new plagues you have, which is not really good at because it tells me I have like 9 or 10, and I'll go in there and I'll do like 140 before I'm done. So I don't know how good that is, but I'll wake up in the morning that little icon number will be like 200, and if you're anal about your alerts like I am, that's like really stressful to see that, like, oh, my social networking folder has 250 little alerts in it. You have to drive me nuts. Now 249 of them are all plague, but
yeah, that would be a lot to deal with.
it's really something to try to like deal with a little bit.
All right, I just posted something. Let me know if it makes it to New York.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for. I've got stuff that made it to England and Spain, but it hasn't made it to California yet. So. I'll let you know. If I see Jeremy Brooks in there, I'll let you know.
I probably should have posted it from San Francisco instead of from the middle of nowhere here.
Hey, you're in the middle of nowhere? I'm in the middle of nowhere.
I'm in the middle of the ghetto.
Oh, well, I think that's a show. We thought we would do 3/4 of a show, but we did a full show.
I think we did.
I think
it tends to make me ramble, though.
Yeah.
And I'm about to finish the second one, so...
I'm glad I only did one. It's definitely time for me to get some dinner. So we should probably thank our friend Stu Venable and the Poxy Boggers for the use of their music. Longer Than Life, I believe, is the song. So we opened that show with that. Yep. So thanks to Stu. You can find him at iTunes and poxyboggers.com to get his music and all kinds of fun things.
Also, if you think our logo is really rad and awesome and you're interested in doing some branding, you should check out Robo Boogie, my brother-in-law's company that did that for us. And they are really awesome, and they're kind of a team of freelancers that does really awesome things for big companies and small companies. They work with Intel and they work with podcasts like us. So they, if you're looking for really, really unique branding, check them out as well.
Cool.
And with that, I think we will play ourselves out of here.
I'd rather have lager than lie. I'll take a strong stout over stride. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale and live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is no ale, so bring me lager for life. I'd rather have lager than lie. I'll take a strong stout over stride. I prefer to confer with a
Crossy Road!